I'm going to talk now about ways to get a gig. Hey everybody, thanks for joining me on my YouTube channel here. Don't forget to please like and subscribe. I get asked so much, not just when I'm out doing seminars or guest speaking at a university or something, but I get asked so much, even by pro musicians, what are some tips, some ways to get gigs? I have to say, it's always been my dream to be a musician that travels around the world and plays in front of people and have people get to know who you are around the world. I would pray, please, God, help me get a gig where musicians know who I am and I get calls to do things. And it seems like the best advice I could give you is that you need to think about the music business as a pie. Got to kind of think about it where you split the pie down the middle. And the half that's on this side is, how do you play your instrument? Are you good? Do you have good tempo, good pitch? Do you have good technique? As a drummer, can you play melodically and fill and get the band dynamics going great so that you bring it down on the verse? The B section might be up, the chorus might be bigger, the solo might be the biggest, and you can drop it down to the verse. But every instrument has all those different types of subtleties. So are you great at your instrument? Can you read music? I love reading music. It helps me so much. Even on auditions, I make little cheat sheet notes and have the songs down. If you're auditioning on a dozen songs, it's hard to remember a dozen songs on an audition. But the other side of the pie, the other 50% of the pie, has nothing to do with how you play your instrument. It has everything to do with what kind of person are you? Are you somebody that people want in their band? To be on a tour bus with, to be in a van with, to be on a private plane with, or flying around the world or on a cruise ship gig? It's real easy to fall into that habit of complaining about little things. Oh, the food on this gig, my hotel room on that night, or the crowd, or don't be that musician that complains. Just look at all the great things you have to be thankful for. You're out playing music and you're making a living playing. A lot of friends of mine say, well, I don't have a band, I don't have any gigs, nobody's calling me for gigs, what do I do? If I were in that situation, no matter what town I was in, not just Los Angeles, which I think is the entertainment music capital of the world. I mean, since I've moved here, I get to play on albums, demos for people, TV shows. I did the show Friends with my brother Matt for 10 years. So movies, TV shows. I often do the show Family Guy here in LA. Movies, all kinds of movies. This is a real entertainment capital of the world here. Tours seem to go out of LA. Auditions happen in Los Angeles all the time. But if I didn't live in Los Angeles, or I didn't live in New York City, Manhattan, or London, or Nashville, or big music hubs, how would I get a gig if I was in Tuna Fish, Wyoming? If I was in Tuna Fish, Wyoming and nobody was calling me for a gig, I would be proactive. I'd put together my own band. Well, there's nowhere to play in Tuna Fish, Wyoming. Well, do they have coffee shops? Every town has a coffee shop. Anywhere in the world, you know. Even if it's real quiet, I would play with brushes, or I would get an acoustic guitar, maybe a little keyboard turned way down, and a singer, or we sing and we just play Beatles songs, Rolling Stones songs. You could play Foo Fighters songs, soft. You could play the Eagles, the Police, Billie Eilish, Taylor Swift, Harry Styles. We could play any song that we love. And I am a sucker for pop songs. I love great songs. So I'd put a band together. Maybe we'd play jazz standards. There's a book called The Real Book. And all you need is that book for the keyboard player, bass player, guitar player, singer. There's a lyric, real book. And you just play jazz standards. You put your own band together and put the word out on social media. If you have Facebook or you have Instagram or whatever way you get the word out to friends, hey, come on out. Then you go to the next venue and the next venue. But it's also a great way if you go to jam nights. Most cities, maybe Monday night's jam night or open mic night. And you can go into a club, a bar, a coffee shop, and you can put your name on a list and you can sit in. Well, the more people hear you play, no matter how big your town or city is where you live, and you've got that really good attitude, you play great, but the other half of the pie, you are a good person that people want to hang with. You can make people laugh. As silly as it sounds, people want to be on recording sessions or on tours with people that can be a light in a dark world sometimes. Make people laugh, tell jokes, compliment people. I've been in so many different groups growing up where if one person just is like, hey, Jim, those are really cool Chuck Taylors, man. Where'd you get those? All of a sudden, he's thinking, wow, he likes my tennis shoes. Or that was a great solo you played on this. What does it hurt to compliment people in your band? It lifts them up. I like it when people compliment me after the gig, you're driving back to the hotel, whatever. Hey, that was really cool on this song when we did this or whatever. I like that. So why not compliment people? Nothing wrong with it. If it's honest and it's truthful, you don't have to be the clown, the court jester, and you don't have to be the person that's just sucking up to everybody, trying to compliment them if you didn't like the way they played, but find something good to compliment people by. Lift people up. That'll go a long way. Oh, get this guy because he or she is a great musician and they're really cool people. When I was a kid, and I talked about being in a band, my parents who were musicians, they said, well, it's great that you have a band if that band doesn't become the next, Beatles, Maroon 5, Eagles, Police, Foo Fighters, whatever it is. Why don't you try just being the best you can be? You can sub for a lot of bands. And I'll tell you some of the gigs I've done where I've kind of subbed, okay? The Maynard Ferguson band, when I was right out of college, musicians didn't last a long time with that band because it was on a bus and you're playing a lot of shows and people move out. And so for a year, I was in the Maynard Ferguson band because they needed a drummer. Then I got a gig with Gino Vanelli. My good friend Mark Craney was in the band, and Mark had some health issues and wasn't able to do it, and I got the gig with Gino Vanelli. David Lee Roth left Van Halen, and he started a band with Billy Sheehan, Steve Vai, and they needed a drummer. Joe Satriani was looking for a rhythm section, and Steve Lukather, my good friend, who's been in Ringo's All-Star Band with me for many years, he recommended my brother Matt and I to be Joe Satriani's bass player and drummer. Electric Light Orchestra. I've always loved ELO. David Page, great keyboard player, great friend, recommended Matt and I to Jeff Lynne. So we kind of went as a team, drums and bass, brothers, best pals, get along great, let's play, let's have fun. Ringo's All-Star Band, it was kind of a revolving chair. First it was Jim Keltner and Lee Von Helm, then it was Ringo's son, Zach Starkey, then it was Simon Kirke from Bad Company and Free, and then Sheila E. And then I got the gig in 2008. And again, it's that kind of a situation where you might not be in a band. If you are, and you're in a band like the Rolling Stones, a band like, Van Halen, the Police, God bless you, that's amazing. But I've kind of gone the route with gigs of, if I'm the best I can be, put the word out that if anybody needs a drummer, if anybody needs a guitar player, keyboard player, singer, background singer, horn player, whatever it is, that is a really great way that I've kind of done it anyway. I can't tell you enough how important it is to be stylistically diverse, because you never know when things are going to change. I remember when I was in college, reggae, because of the Police especially, Stuart Copeland, you needed to have your Bob Marley chops down before you could get a gig where a band was playing the Police, because Stuart Copeland is a good friend of mine. He's told me I draw on my influences, Buddy Rich, Ringo, and the reggae stuff and everything else. So stylistic diversity, being able to play rock, pop, metal, R&B, hip hop, the drunk drumming thing like Questlove, Chris Dave, J.D. Beck. I'm talking drum stuff now. Anderson .Paak, Mike Mitchell. So many drummers are so great at that. You have to play double bass sometimes on a Pepsi-Cola commercial. Play double bass like Thomas Haka Meshuggah on Bleed. So on any instrument, whatever you play, get into being stylistically diverse and really work on your vocabulary. Make little videos of your playing. Post them. Send them to people. Say to people, hey, you need a drummer? Check out me. I'm playing this cover of this song, and get to know people. It's a people business, and the better you are at being a people person, I think, and somebody that people want in a band, the more, if your playing is great and your personality is great, I think that'll really help you get gigs. So thanks for watching. Please like if you like this, and please subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm having a blast doing this, and we'll see you on the next one.